What's up? Check, 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 check. Welcome to Rocket Launches Today. My name is Dan Wiggin. Welcome to the stream. Today we are watching the NS-18 launch of the new Shepard spacecraft for Blue Origin. And today on the stream with me, I have Epic Daniel and Marco 3D doing some commentary. So
Hello.
if you guys can make sure, let me see it. Let me get a 5x5 with my commentators.
Hello everybody and welcome to the stream.
Hello, I'm Marco and welcome to the stream.
And there goes Glen.
Do we got it? Sounds good. So what we're looking at right now, it looks like the spacecraft is ready to go. And everybody has climbed the stairs. And let's see, let's get a list of who all is on this flight. Let's see, is Glen de Vries, the CEO of Solution, which is an American company that develops and markets software as a service for clinical trials. Also, Chris Boshuizen, sorry if I killed that. He's a partner at the investment firm DCVC and Planet co-founder. Also is Audrey Powers, Vice President of Legal and Compliance for Blue Origin, on the flight today. And last, but certainly not least,
I know you've mentioned me before, you board from the highest seat number first, and then the board, which is of
Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the Starship Enterprise.
well, the Starship New Shepard. But personally, the last person on this flight is a huge hero of mine, and I'll try not to get too worked up about it. But it's William Shatner, Captain James Tiberius Kirk, who is actually going to space, and it's a big day for me personally, because growing up, one of my childhood heroes was Captain Kirk, and so seeing Captain Kirk go to space today is a super big treat for me. And I'm glad that I get a chance to share this with everybody here today.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're coming at about T-minus 26 minutes right now. So we're about 26 minutes away from launch, and I think everything's looking good. There was a hold earlier, like 20 minutes ago, and the crew was waiting. And now they are in the new Shepard capsule, or they are currently at Ingress. So, yeah, should be
great,
looking good.
So, what are these wings they've got? This is new, or am I just catching up? Are these on either side of the spacecraft? That's kind of neat. Oh, there goes Captain Kirk. Ah!
There he is.
What are we seeing? What are we seeing right now, Marco? What is oh, that is Jeff Bezos. I didn't know who the I thought we were gonna have a fifth space rider today.
Oh yeah.
What wings do you mean? You're just
Do you mean
talking about wings. You mean the white flags or what?
Yeah. What are those?
Yeah, they're they're used to block the sun.
Yeah.
While they are boarding into the capsule.
Gotcha.
And prevent it from overheating.
Oh, so it's not something. It doesn't have like Blue Origin, like a legal disclaimer on the side or anything there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool! Look at that! You can see the shot straight into the capsule.
Yeah, I hope they have an inboard cam.
And you can even see venting, so it's a good sign that we're on track for an on-time liftoff.
Awesome.
Well, on time, yeah.
It's 14:31 UTC.
One thing that I really find quite impressive about this spacecraft is the short period of ingress time and then flight. I mean, if everything goes well and it was T minus 24 minutes to flight, and you're walking in essentially, 20 minutes before you fly to space. I think that's kind of neat comparatively to some of the other ones. You got to be in there for hours ahead of time.
Well, yeah, it's definitely way more comfortable. I mean, you don't need a spacesuit, so that really saves time.
Well, is there any kind of risk versus? I know that there are different types of space flights, but are there any kind of risks to not wearing a full pressure suit, or why is Blue Origin doing this without the full helmet and everything?
I mean, compared to SpaceX, they're doing orbital space flights, so they need the pressure suits in case there's debris hitting the Crew Dragon, uh, that the crew is safe. And I mean, it's like their suit. It's like a separate spacecraft basically, because they have their air conditioning and stuff. So yeah.
Ah,
And this flight is obviously suborbital, and they're going up to like just above 100 kilometers. So
Which is
there's
just about the
not
Grumman line.
really the need for it, for a spacesuit, because you don't really expect debris hitting your spacecraft at this height.
Yeah, and even the re-entry is much more.
Yeah, that as well, obviously.
It's not as extreme
tell me-
as going from orbital velocities.
Yeah.
So I guess that was my next question is, so what's the real difference for this one coming back in versus, say, a Dragon?
So the difference is that the Dragon is coming in at 28,000 kilometers an hour, and yeah, the crew, the new Shepard crew capsule is coming in at much lower speed. I mean, when you're going vertical, you can't really define when you're going to hit the atmosphere, but what you can say is that the horizontal speed is 0 compared to Crew Dragon's 7.8 kilometers per second.
Yeah, I
So
think
that's a huge
it's going
difference.
around 1,500 kilometers per hour vertical speed. So it's much
You mean
more.
when it starts to slow down significantly?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that is just the gravity. That's gravity pulling it back down, essentially, correct?
Yep.
Yeah, and you have all the forces really appearing when you hit the thicker parts of the atmosphere.
And if you
Now, you
look
gotta
at
forgive
the,
me. Go ahead.
sorry.
Go ahead, Marco.
Yeah, if you look at the videos from Blue Origin where they have a camera inside the capsule, you can even hear the sounds that happen when it reaches the atmosphere. So that's very cool.
Wow. Yeah, absolutely. This is the RSS First Step. Is that the name of the spacecraft?
No, that's
I
not the
mean-
name of the spacecraft. I forgot what it stands for right now, but maybe Daniel knows.
Okay.
I have no idea. That's a good question, actually.
Hey, we're
That
asking
would
good
be
questions.
quite interesting.
Hey. Yeah. It's good to know because I don't know all that much about the Blue Origin spacecraft. Actually, I'm just, to be honest, I am a complete SpaceX nut. So this is really a big treat for me that I get to be with you guys and watch this launch and find out a little bit more about it. Because we're all team space here, and it's good to see human space flight. And this shot back, this actually, so you were saying those top flaps up there are to keep the capsule cool. Is it less important for them to try to keep the first stage of the rocket not cool?
I mean, the first stage, they have. The physics works like this. If you if a liquid boils, it automatically cools. So if they have hydrogen and it gets too hot, then they vent some hydrogen to um, allow it to boil, and then that'll keep the temperature at where they need it.
Yeah, and they also regulate the temperatures of the engine in order so it doesn't melt itself.
Yeah, that's extremely important because this particular engine runs on a combustion tap-off cycle, which is basically you're taking the hot gas from the combustion chamber and using that gas to spin your turbo pumps. So that makes it even more important to keep the engine at the right temperature.
And we got some commentary from chat saying capsule, not craft. And that's, again, my bad. I am, oh, here we go. Look at this. We got some really great graphics on the screen. Totally thanks to Jay, who is supporting us all in the back channel, not on mic today, but everybody out there watching, make sure you guys say hi to Jay as well.
Yeah, and there you have the overview of the new Shepard rocket. You have the capsule, the wide fins and drag brakes, together with the aft fins, are all for aerodynamics to basically steer New Shepard when the engine's not running. So yeah, that's all.
Yeah, and in this picture you can see the wedge fins and drag brakes are retracted, but when after re-entry, when the booster is decelerating, it will deploy them for greater aerodynamic control. And the drag brakes are going to be deployed right before engine is going to be ignited, about 20 seconds before.
And that's because obviously this is a reusable vehicle. The booster and the capsule are both reusable. The booster landing propulsively and the capsule landing with the help of a parachute.
Now, I did know that. I did know that it's a propulsive landing, but is this the one that hovers a little bit before it lands?
Exactly. It slows down like a bit early because it doesn't have to do a suicide burn. So that's when you expend the least amount of fuel. But this is obviously suborbital, so you have a lot of fuel left. So what they do is they slow the booster down, and at a certain height they will reach a speed of 5 miles an hour, and then they'll keep that speed. So a descent rate of 5 miles an hour, and then just below, before they hit the ground, they throttle up the engine a little bit to slow it down to 0. And obviously deploy the landing legs, which I think look really, really cool.
Yeah, those are the ones that kind of like pop down, but not folding. They just kind of go straight down. Correct?
Yeah, it's really cool.
I'll be honest with you. I saw the first time I saw those. I thought that it'd be really neat if you had a spring in there, and it would be kind of like a little spring-loaded, kind of cushiony landing. Let's see, we've got. Oh, let's see. Who else do we got? Is that just the final check there?
Yeah, we're
final send off.
We're holding at T-minus 15 minutes right now. I think it's a planned hold. Okay. They're just doing readiness checks, I think.
The stream I'm watching just a tad bit behind. It's still reading 16:05:04, so they were just shutting the capsule door. That's kind of neat though. If you get a personal send off from Jeff Bezos, I think that's kind of a nice little touch.
Yeah, I wonder if he'll do that every time, because in the future these launches are supposed to be more common. So I wonder if he'll fly to the launch sites each time.
Hey Jay, do we know how many scheduled launches we have for the new Shepard on paper right now?
I think it's like that they always announce them rather late. So right now, I don't think we have any new missions coming up, like an estimate of the launch day. But
Jay says it's one more D0.
yeah, right. I think we heard that there is one more launch this year, but nothing specific like the launch
I would
window.
really be interested to see what the real and true cadence will be once everything is more typical and normal. That would be, because if this was something that happened almost daily, I think that would be really cool.
Yeah, that's. I mean, the question is, what's the limiting factor here? Is it just the refurbishment of the booster and capsule, or is it like this they need people to fly on it or
I think
experiment?
there are
Well, that
lots of customers that want to fly, but it's mostly, I think, the refurbishment and safety checks before each launch.
well then at that point, if the question is demand, would it be not a valid move to produce more spacecraft, or is that something that is like cost prohibitive because of safety checks and because of certification?
Well, I don't know how many people want to fly to space with Blue Origin, but I think in the future it would make sense if there is a high enough demand. It's just they're starting right now, and this is only the second crewed launch.
I mean, certification of new spacecraft wouldn't be an issue, I suppose, because they already crew rate the vehicle. So if they don't change anything significant, then I don't think that'll be an issue. So
Ah, okay. So it's kind of like the batch certifications that some of the other places get, right?
yeah, exactly. You also see it on the Crew Dragon. You know that obviously different spacecraft have flown. We have Endeavour and Resilience. The Crew Dragon capsules both have flown, and they both have been in space at the same time. So yeah, I don't think that's an issue.
Just one quick second. Let me take a second to say, if you guys haven't already, give us a thumbs up and a subscribe if you're watching and have not already. Also, if you don't know, have anybody else watching, grab your friends, grab your family, and drag them into the room and say, "Hey, let's all share this moment together." Because I know that we're on a brief hold right now, but this is really important in the long run. I know we keep talking about the next thing and the next thing and the next thing, but right now, the fact that William Shatner, Captain Kirk, is literally about to be in space is something awesome. So big huge thanks to Rocket Launches today for streaming this. I honestly don't know of anybody else is right now that is. So kudos to Jay for stepping up and taking care of business.
Absolutely.
So,
And I don't think we've mentioned that before, but William Shatner will be the oldest person that has ever been to space. The current person that holds this record is Wally Funk, and she actually flew on the last crewed, which was also the first crewed flight of New Shepard at an age of 82 years.
wow.
That's
Shatner's 90 years old. That's so incredible to believe. I can't believe that we've got today. We're sending a 90-year-old person to space because it's we're that confident with our with our technology, and I'm hoping that there are some aliens out there watching. Can you pay attention? We're getting there. It's not quite warp drive yet, but this should be close enough that maybe the Vulcans will come and see what we're doing and bring us replicator technology. So currently we are, let's see, we are at a hold still, a 4 minutes and 58 seconds into the hold. And it looks like everybody's in there nice and comfortable, but is there work going on around the capsule? Can anybody confirm that, or is it just I'm seeing something on a delay there?
I mean, there's not supposed to be stuff that has to be done because they're in a hold. So the schedule includes everything. So everything is planned out beforehand, and the T minus that you see on the top right of your screen is all planned out. It's all just like the crewed SpaceX launches. They have everything planned out and they have a schedule. And right now they're in a hold. That's probably due to weather, especially high winds. But yeah.
Yeah, because it doesn't look like there's anything happening around the capsule.
Well, yeah, the streams. Depending on which stream you're watching, it looks like it still looks like there are people around the outside, but again, I could be.
Yeah,
totally,
there are some people around the outside.
Well, they're certainly not going to be launching with all those people around there. That's for sure.
Yeah, so T minus 15 minutes, I think, is around that time when the ground support crew leaves the launch site. It's about T minus 15 minutes, I think. So maybe there's an issue with the ground systems. It's just speculation right now.
Oh, look at that. I mean, it looks like a beautiful, clear day, but you never can tell with high level wind. You're like, what? It's a perfect day. Why would they hold? So here's another question. Do you think they wear diapers? No one with an opinion?
I mean, what are you referring to? Is it like they were?
Well, I know that the Dragon folks, don't they wear a diaper underneath the spacesuit?
I have no idea.
Well, I mean, I'm thinking that if you're going to be in there, because it does. I mean, I guess the question is, I don't know how long the egress is as well. Probably not.
Well,
that
I know
long.
on the Soyuz launches they wear a diaper, the Russian launches, but I'm not sure about Crew Dragon.
That's one of those questions. I was swearing that someone said that they did, but Jay says they probably don't. Wow. Look, I've not seen these shots of the inside of the capsule at all. Wow, that's awfully neat. They're showing pictures. Is that a demonstration capsule they have there?
Yeah, I think so.
A Blue Origin. That's that.
Yeah,
I'd never. Go ahead.
They also have something like something similar at SpaceX, like a Crew Dragon capsule, where they have the onboard computers, and they can simulate docking. So that might be similar.
Wow, that's awesome. And see, with this one, I saw old shots, and it looks like there's a large center console in the middle. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Oh yeah, that center console is actually the solid rocket motor that's there in case of an emergency when the launch escape system is activated. That's the solid rocket motor that you see in the center of the
Really?
capsule there.
Yeah, that's also
So
one of the reasons for the interestingly shaped top of the booster. So when the abort motor fires, the exhaust fumes go around the booster. That's why it's a sort of ring. As you can see.
Uh,
no, this is so interesting to me because you're telling me that there's a solid rocket booster in the middle of that capsule.
Yeah, exactly. And they even did an escape test. And what I think is really, really impressive about that test is that after the launch escape of the capsule, everything went successfully, but the booster landed. It just
Yeah,
landed
that's
after that test. I
that's
mean, if
mainly
you
because of the design of the top of the booster, the
yeah,
ring.
but still, if you remember the in-flight abort test, like early last year, when SpaceX demonstrated the ability of a launch abort with Crew Dragon, which they didn't even need to, but they thought it was better than the simulations.
Well, yeah,
So that rocket booster just exploded. Like that was a huge explosion, and they had a dummy second stage. I remember that. That was funny.
yeah. Well, I mean, it was going way faster, but yeah, still very
Yeah.
impressive. I think they've definitely designed it like that.
Yeah. Do we know what the
I'll say,
go ahead?
go ahead.
Do we know what the top speed of the ascent phase is?
I think it's definitely about 1,000 miles, but I'm not too sure right now.
Oh yeah, that would be an interesting thing to look up during the launch. But right now
I'm looking it up right now, actually.
holding at 2 minutes 15 minutes, so don't know when that'll happen.
So, does anybody know what the G load that Captain Kirk is going to be experiencing today?
Okay, so it's around 3 Gs on ascent at most, and on re-entry it's about 5 Gs, I think. So not that
Wow.
extreme, but still a lot.
Well, 5Gs is not easy. Um, but well, I guess the other question is I see those awesome seats that they're in. Have you guys ever been inside a big rig truck or on like a really big speedboat by chance?
Maybe.
They have these seats that my uncle used to drive an over the road Peterbilt giant truck, and the seat kind of looks similar in the fact. I mean, obviously you weren't reclined, but when you got in his seat, it went. And it has its own little air suspension system that, like, when you're going down the road, you don't even know you're going. So
Oh
my
yeah, I've seen
question
those in
is,
buses.
why? Yeah, right. Why wouldn't they, or do they have those types of seats in this type of vehicle?
Well, in the new Shepard rocket, they don't really have the same types of seats, but if you look, they are kind of, mm, they're the chair legs, they are crossed, and when it lands, they kind of move down, so it's reduces the impact force. Like it's a
Jay,
scissor mechanism.
do we have a picture of the new Shepard seats at all that you might be able to put up? I don't know if you have one prepared, but I'd really love to see what the inside of this thing looks like a little bit more, because I was just getting that shot with Shatner in it, and there was some really awesome quilted, almost looked quilted fabric
Yeah,
on
it looks really
the
good.
walls there.
I think that's mostly sound protection, sound
Sound protection.
insulation. Yeah. So it's
Well, that would make sense.
yeah, and it also looks very nice. By the way, I looked up the top speed, and it looks like it's around 2,200 miles per hour.
Wow.
So very fast.
Wow. That sounds awesome. I would love to go 2,200 miles an hour.
Yeah, that's around 3,500 kilometers per hour.
So comparatively to say Falcon 9, how fast is that compared to Falcon 9?
The top speed the Falcon 9 second stage reaches is Mach 25, so around what's that in miles? I think
I will
17,000
convert,
miles
wait.
an hour.
Yeah, 17,000 miles.
Well, that's
And,
quite a bit faster.
but the top speed of the booster is like 4,000 miles an hour.
Yeah, but they are going in the capsule, so it's 17,000, which is fast.
Yeah.
Like, it's even hard to comprehend how fast that speed is.
It is 25 times the speed of sound. So there's your comparison.
I like how on this shot they've got right above the door, right around, I guess I would say the crown of the capsule. It says "not a step."
Yeah. We can
I
see
mean,
cars are now departing from the launch pad, so
great.
I think it's
Oh, so
going
that
to launch
means
soon.
that you think they're going to release the hold soon?
Yeah, I think so. It looks like there is nobody on the launch pad.
Awesome. Well, if there's no one on the launch pad, Jay says that he's got a shot of the inside of the capsule. If we could take a look at that real quick before things get going, that would be awesome. Because then I also want to take a look at this giant solid rocket booster that is strapped in between 4 people, and one of them being my childhood hero. Wow! Look at that! Look at that! Oh, they've got their own little screens.
And
You know-
also, I looked up the maximum acceleration during ascent. It's about 1.5 Gs, so not that, not that
Oh yeah,
serious.
then that was something else. But on deceleration, it's much more than that.
You mean during re-entry?
During re-entry.
Yeah. I mean, if you add that up to
Okay.
Earth gravity, it's yeah.
That was thanks for that shot, by the way. So I think that looks like a really attractive interior of a plane cabin. That's the first thing that comes to mind when I see the inside of that.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is like the first class of airplanes. I mean, it's very expensive to buy a ticket on this rocket.
Well, here's another thing too. So with this technology, and I understand that it's a 6-minute give or take flight. Could they use this technology to say point to point, perhaps in the future? Because I mean, if you were to take the same type of setup essentially and put more fuel in it, wouldn't this be, kind of like being able to do SpaceX, but do, something less drastic than have to do offshore landing?
Well, I think it could be done. I'm just not really sure how far you could get with such a rocket. And if it would probably be really expensive for the distance it would travel.
I think that would require a significant amount of changes to the vehicle itself, because the vehicle is designed for this kind of suborbital flights. So I think if you want to load more fuel, there's 2 things you can do. You can supercool your propellants so they take up less space, or you can build a larger rocket basically. But so I think That's
Okay, hold is released.
yeah. The hold has been released.
Alright,
We're at
yeah.
T-minus 12 minutes right now, and
But yeah,
counting.
since the rocket can go to above the camera line for only about a few minutes, it's not really made for anything else.
Yeah, and also another space nut pointed out in the YouTube chat that it's inefficient to use the small capsules for point-to-point. That's a big reason why that's not going to happen, because if you compare it to Starship is the second stage of Super Heavy, and there's no third stage. There's no separate crew module, so it's just the second stage landing propulsively with the people inside the Starship. So that's a difference compared to the Shepard, because you can just launch it and land anywhere with your parachutes if you want to go. So
The infographic that they've got up right now is actually really interesting to me because it does show, I guess, how short of a flight that it is. I know that it's a short flight in duration, but it also looks like it's a really short distance as well. And thanks to another space nut for dropping the knowledge bombs. But I guess the thing that really struck me is, I personally, when I look at that, if you were to tell me that I could get into a capsule like that and fly to Albuquerque in an hour or something from Cincinnati, then I would definitely consider it, and it would make it something that I think would be very airplane or airline like, and I think that's kind of cool. Of course, it's not gonna happen.
Absolutely, and this infographic doesn't really show the distance, because the distance the booster travels during the flight is around 2 miles or 3.3 kilometers. So it is going to land 3.3 kilometers away from the launch site. That's where the landing pad is located. And the crew capsule actually a few kilometers further away, but it's insignificant compared to the apogee of over 100 kilometers. So.
Oh, it's so cool.
There.
There's some shots of that air cushion that you guys were speaking of earlier. I think that's I didn't isn't that similar to Soyuz?
Yeah, I think Soyuz has a similar system.
Yeah. I just showed it. I mean, the stream's a bit delayed here, but so yeah, there are a couple of thrusters below, just underneath the rocket that fire like a split second before touchdown, and that really slows down the capsule from 25 miles an hour to 0. So. Yeah.
So is that a compressed air or compressed nitrogen? What is the cause, or what is the propulsion for that?
It's just pressurized gas that's inert, so probably nitrogen, I think.
Okay.
You don't want hydrogen in there. Spark, and
yeah, I think
you have a flaming touchdown.
Yeah, I think that's what I meant. Sorry. And people say COPV, and I'm like, the stuff that you get when you smoke too much? No, it's the composite overwrapped pressure vessel.
Yeah, that's where the gas is stored at around like a couple of atmospheres. Not sure how much pressure, but pretty close.
Well, I know those COPVs have something like crazy 4,000 psi or something like that.
Yeah.
That would be something for Marco, who's the brain on those type of things.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's lots of PSI.
I know that they can sustain more than the sea level ground level pressure at Venus, which is over 100 atmospheres. So.
Oh yeah. Man, we're 7 minutes, guys. Oh! starting to get my rocket jazz going, getting all worked up.
Nice.
What? So they're playing some stuff so close to launch. That's odd. And,
Yeah, well,
so we're all,
there's not many things happening right now. I think they're doing communication checks in the capsule.
great.
But
I would love, and so we are going to go mute T-minus 1 minute before launch. So if I'm in the middle of saying something and I go quiet, that's why. So again, we're working on different types of delays. So just to make sure that we're all on the same page there. We did drop out. This is a planned thing. And again, thank you guys for joining us. If you guys have any questions, please ask them in chat. Marco and Epic Daniel are my experts, if you will. And I thank them again for being here with me today. And thank you guys for joining us. So we are right around T-minus 6 minutes to launch. And it is the NS-18 launch of New Shepard capsule. And they're sending one of my childhood heroes, William Shatner, to space. Something that I didn't ever think that I would see in my lifetime. So again, historic day, the oldest human to fly to space. And I think that's pretty cool. Oh, and it looks like we have ENG joining us. ENG, thank you for tuning in. We're 5 minutes, 24 seconds away from launch. I'm going to try to work off my rocket energy because getting excited. So, one quick question for both you guys before we really zoom in here is: do they get to break out of their seats and actually bounce around and stuff, or is
yes,
this they got?
Yeah, they do. If I think there was a video posted on the Blue Origin YouTube channel of the first crewed flight when they were floating around and playing with a foot, like catching it in 0G. So yeah, that was amazing.
and I think they get around 5 minutes of 0G time.
Yeah, it's around 4 minutes, I think, before they have to get back into their seats for re-entry.
Yeah.
I'd be like, nah, I'm good. Like, no, they're like, no, you gotta get back in your seat and be like, I can't. I'm having too much fun.
But then all of a sudden you're gonna hit the
Yeah, then all of a sudden,
Right,
like,
yeah, true.
3Gs.
yeah.
That'd be great. I'd really, I think it wouldn't be bad until, probably like, I don't know, 1 minute or something maybe. But at that point in time, you probably won't be weightless, and then it won't be any fun, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's going down very fast. from
Okay.
0G.
Yeah, and we're at around T-minus 3 minutes and 30 seconds here away from liftoff. And
So just
everything
hope
looking
there is
good.
no hold.
Look at that beautiful sky. Beautiful West Texas sky. That's amazing.
That's right. They are in Texas. That's isn't it something crazy like Corn Ranch or something?
Yeah,
like
exactly. Car Ranch.
Corn Ranch, Texas. All right. We're flying from Corn Ranch, Texas today.
And that's where
For
they
the
went from.
That's cool.
And there's a really cool shot of the BE3 Blue Engine 3. You can see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. So are they chilling the engine yet, or is that something that they happen like around T-minus 1 minute? Can you tell me about what we're going to expect to see?
I mean, SpaceX always calls out like engine chill and everything, but I don't think Blue Origin does this. But I have no idea what the engine chill when that'll happen for this particular engine. But what I know is that the engine ignites, but the capsule releases 7 seconds after ignition. So there's gonna be a brief period of throttling up. That's because Again, this engine is a combustion tap-off cycle engine, and yeah, it takes some time to throttle up to get to full power.
RP1, you said?
No, it's a it runs on hydrolux, so that's liquid oxygen and liquid hydrogen. And there you can see the crew access arm retracting right now. That's a great sign. And you
so
can
before we get muted, there is one last question from another space nut from chat. Would you pay 75,000 per minute or 0G?
I wouldn't.
Would I?
Oh,
Well, but some people have the
Would
money,
I?
I guess.
oh,
But it's
there
going to
there
be
you can
cheaper.
see the they're testing the fins. You can see them wiggling.
Yeah, and you
Oh,
can
look
see
at that.
That's cool.
you can see the condensation dripping
I-
from the fuel pipes because it's very cold.
So we're at T-minus
I-
1 minute. That means we're gonna be muted for a couple of minutes here, and enjoy the launch.
Bye.
Great. Bye.
All right, everybody. Chris Boshuizen, Glen de Vries, Audrey and William Shatner are about to go where very few humans have gone before. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to launch this rocket. Godspeed, New Shepard.
Minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Command engine start. 2, 1.
Has cleared the tower. She is on her space with the second human spaceflight crew. What a launch. We are on our way to Max Q, the first milestone here on its flight to space. You can follow along, obviously, with the altimeter at the base of the screen, as well as the speedometer. They are gaining speed on their climb to space. We have confirmed max Q. This is when the aerodynamic stresses on the vehicle were at their maximum. Thank you again, everybody, for joining us live for New Shepard's second human flight with Audrey Powers, William Shatner, our customers Glen de Vries and Chris Boshuizen on board. They are well on their way to space. So far, a nominal flight, a clean burn on our Blue Engine 3. New Shepard giving them a beautiful flight to space this morning. The rocket is climbing towards an altitude. We're aiming just over the Kármán line, the internationally recognized line of space of 100 kilometers. That is about 328,000 feet. And a gorgeous view down the rocket. And now we've had main engine cut off. The BE-3 engine has shut off. And in just a moment, we're going to separate the capsule from the booster. And at that point, our astronauts will have the opportunity to get out of their harnesses and enjoy the beauties of zero G. Let's wait to listen. And there you can see a clean separation between the capsule and the booster. And there you can see the capsule from the top of the booster. They are continuing their ascent over the Kármán line. You'll know when they hit apogee, when the speed hits 0. And there they are, over 328,000 feet, over 100 kilometers. Welcome to space, the newest astronauts on board our crew capsule. And there they are. They have just about hit their apogee at about 351,000 feet. And while we don't have apogee, I can just imagine Jackie, they are having the time of their lives. Thank you again, everybody, for joining us live from West Texas. So far, a nominal flight for our second human crew. So exciting, Jackie, to have sent Captain Kirk himself, William Shatner, to space. I cannot wait to hear his commentary upon return, as well as our two customers, Chris Boshuizen from Australia, to all the fans tuning in from down under. A big shout out to you guys, as well as Glen de Vries and our very own Audrey Powers. They are coming back home. The booster, of course, is going to beat the capsule back home. It is more aerodynamically shaped, of course, at the base of the capsule. It's kind of a blunt end, so it's less aerodynamic. What we're going to see coming up shortly is at the top of the rocket, we have the ring fin. There's some what we call the pie fins that extend from the ring fin, as well as the drag brakes. The pie fins, the wedge fins, help stabilize the vehicle, kind of like the feathers at the back of an arrow. And then you will also see the drag brakes. And as you mentioned, Jackie, it cuts the velocity dramatically. There you can see the wedge fins are out. Here we see the descent. We are going to expect the BE-3 engine to relight just at about 3,600 feet or about 1,200 meters above ground level. Let's wait for that now. The drag brakes have deployed. And here we come, New Shepard. Touchdown. Welcome back, New Shepard. The fourth flight to space and back for that vehicle provided a beautiful flight to space for our second human crew. Wow, that gets me every time we do this live down here in Texas. The sonic boom is so cool. Drag brakes are folding back in, as have the wedge fins. Just looks like you could fuel her up and go again. What do you think, Jackie?
And even when you know to expect the sonic boom, it still catches you off guard every time.
Talk about a rumble. A beautiful sight of our New Shepard rocket there in the West Texas desert. But of course, the show is not over. The capsule is descending. We are waiting for first the drogue chutes to deploy. Those are very much like the guide parachutes. They will subsequently be followed by the main parachutes that will first reef and then fully inflate. And there go the drogue parachutes. And here come the mains. Whew, what a flight. You can already start to hear the cheers from outside our stage here in West Texas.
I just threw a piece of fog pole up. Like, there's a lot. Look out your window, Audrey. Oh, yeah, I see it. I can't see the boost, so where is it? Oh, it's on the cover. It's going to rotate. Where is that? I want to find that pod and take it home. How about that, guys? How about that, guys? That was unlike anything they described. All right, we got less than 1,000 feet. All right, raise. Let's down.
And here comes our crew back into the desert.
Everybody.
Newest astronauts 596, 97, 98, and 99.
That's unlike anything you'll ever feel.
Stand by touchdown. Stand by touchdown.
And capsule touchdown. Welcome back. The newest astronauts, Audrey Powers, William Shatner, our customers, Glen de Vries and Chris Boshuizen. What a day for you. Welcome back. I cannot wait to talk to them, Jackie, and just get what they experienced up there this morning. What a clean and beautiful flight from the rocket for our astronauts.
What an absolutely stunning flight. And I also loved hearing that audio of them on their way back about how this experience was for them. And I can't wait to hear their stories.
Well, you heard William Shatner say, this is like nothing I've ever experienced before. So coming from a man who in theory has experienced space
Who
for
has
decades.
gone warp speed and traveled the entire intergalactic universe. This was like nothing he's ever seen before.
What a day for our astronauts. So now our team is preparing landing safety operations and recovery of our astronauts from the crew capsule. We'll be on the ground at the landing site to follow the action in just a bit, maybe even talk to the world's newest astronauts. Some absolutely breathtaking stuff. And I'll note that you're going to see our the recovery team show up very shortly because we actually send them out before the capsule has landed, because through our modeling, we get by now we're very, very good at analyzing where the capsule is going to come down, given where we know
on that landing.
exactly where the winds are. And so we're going to see the recovery team come out there, and of course they will also be joined by some of their friends and family to watch as they emerge from the capsule. Let's check out these beautiful shots of our 4 astronauts there in the Texas desert after having gone up over the Kármán line and back. And here's some beautiful shots of our 4 astronauts in the capsule awaiting the recovery team. I understand from Capcom that they have had communications with those 4 astronauts, and they have all given the thumbs up that they are doing A-OK after an exhilarating flight to space and back.
Awaiting that recovery team in that champagne shower, which
Yes.
I'm now regretting that we don't have any champagne for ourselves, Ariane. That feels very unfair after this show.
There's some waves from our astronauts there. And there in the foreground, you see the capsule, the background, their ride to space, the new Shepard booster. Again, that booster has flown to space and back 4 times with this flight. And coming to get them is the recovery crew. And Jackie, you can see there, again, beautiful shots of the capsule. The parachutes actually have fallen pretty close to the capsule itself, meaning that there isn't a lot of ground wind out there. We talked about this earlier in the show, and of course we had to delay a day because of the gusty winds that have been out there. But no, today has been a beautiful day for a launch and landing of a rocket and launch and landing of 4 new astronauts.
I know we were talking to Chris a couple days ago, and he actually flew that USB full of music from around the world to space. As you mentioned, he's a DJ. So, of course, we have our new astronauts. We have our Club for the Future postcards that have just returned from space. And, of course, you know, some of the personal items like this awesome USB full of music. I wish we could be playing some of that right now.
Well, you probably will soon. Actually,
Yes.
you know, as we mentioned, Chris Boshuizen has kind of a side gig as a DJ, DJ Crispy, and he actually released an album on Friday, and I can't wait to see what he does with that music. Some musicians on board too. Of course, William Shatner. Everybody knows him as an actor. He also sings. I think that's one of the most beautiful things about what we're doing at Blue Origin. Again, opening the door to more people to go to space. Yes, the scientists, yes, the engineers, but now the artists, poets, singers, DJs, let's just see what they create coming out of this experience. We have said it before, going to space changes you. We've talked about the overview effect, and I can't wait to see how the stories that come out of, and the art that comes out of this. All right, we now have Sarah Knight going around the capsule, getting the thumbs up from each of our astronauts. Thank you again, everybody, for joining us live from West Texas, where we have just completed our second human flight of the new Shepard vehicle, our crew on board. The great William Shatner, now who has become the oldest person to have ever flown to space at the ripe age of 90 years old, our very own Audrey Powers, as well as our two customers, Glen de Vries and Chris Boshuizen. Our recovery crew is out there and is about to open the hatch. There is our founder, Jeff Bezos, giving the big thumbs up.
This looks like a familiar shot I remember seeing recently.
Yes.
A very happy birthday.
And here come their friends and family. Again, thank you, everybody, for joining us live from West Texas at our launch site 1. Our second human space flight crew has gone to space and back up over the Kármán line, just over 351,000 feet. We're awaiting Jeff Bezos, who is now opening the hatch. There's Audrey Powers, a big hug from her sister.
Captain Kirk himself, the great William Shatner.
Our customer, Chris Boshuizen, the first full Australian citizen to go to space and back. And Glen de Vries. Some big hugs from their loved ones.
In a way, it's indescribable. That's what I thought. You have to work on it. It's so hard to describe.
You have to work on it because not only is it different than what you thought, it happens so quickly. You know what the impression I had that I never expected to have is you're shooting up and this new sky.
Come here. I want one. I want to hear this. Here. You want a little of this? Okay.
The champagne showers have begun. Smiles all around. William Shatner taking in the moment clearly.
What you have done. If everybody in the world needs to do this. Everybody in the world needs to see the
Ladies and gentlemen, William Shatner is now an actual space person. And I personally could not be any happier to see this happen. I'm not quite sure what exactly he's saying right now, but let me tell you this. I got goosebumps right now. I am really jazzed. Let me just tell you, it's something that it shows us that eventually, I believe that everybody can get to space, and it gives me hope that one day I can too. I bet you this guy never thought that he was ever going to get there either. So, you know, being an actor about being a captain on a spaceship, and then years later actually having it happen is an inspiration, I think, for everybody. So, what do you think, Marco?
Yeah, it's definitely amazing, and I just hope when this becomes when more people fly to space, it will be more cheaper and accessible to people. Because this is really incredible. I can't even imagine how they must feel going to space.
How about you, Daniel? What are you thinking?
Yeah, I think it's really amazing. Already the thought that it's possible that we can go to space in our lifetime, and I mean, who would have expected that 20 years ago? Like,
Right.
yeah, that's an amazing thought. And also for you guys out there who are interested in Starship, we have big news. The Mary, aka Boca Chica girl, has received a notice alert for a static fire today. So if you're interested in Starship, we will see a static fire of serial number or Starship 15 today. Maybe.
Awesome.
Not
That's
15,
awesome.
20.
So that's
But yeah,
amazing.
Today
Amazing
will
news.
be an action-packed day for space flight.
Great, and we will see where everybody is. Maybe we can come back to you a little bit later on with some updated commentary or something. But for now, I will say this: huge thanks to Rocket Launches today for setting this all up. And Jay, we're gonna get him set up soon with a PayPal, so we can do PayPal or Patreon or something so that we can get him set up, take care of for all the hard work he does. I'd like to thank Epic Daniel for joining us, as well as Marco 3D. Also, I want to give a shout out to anybody out there that's still watching that check out StarbaseOutfitters.com. We're going to be offering a 1/100 scale version of Starbase and anything that you want, PLA up to gold. So we're going to go ahead and say Ad Astra et Ultra to the stars and beyond. And I hope you all have a wonderful day.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Okay, everybody. So if you can still hear us,
Okay.
yeah,
time.
that's the end of the stream after a successful launch. And as Jay mentioned in the chat, there might be coverage of the Starship 20 static fire. I accidentally said 15. Sorry for that. So yeah, you can look forward to that.
Absolutely. I hope you do. And if I can make it, I'll definitely hop on for that and something in the future. But we've got work we've got to get done here at the studio today, so we're going to be signing off here just as soon as we possibly can.